I just had to restart it a second time because I forgotten to do this. I forgot to put the orientation on horizontal, not vertical, because that's one of my friends who usually comes on to my live streams, Danny Staten. He says that he likes this a lot better. He likes the horizontal view of the screen a lot better when I do it on horizontal, orientation on horizontal rather than vertical. Different hat than I'm usually wearing, but still one that I've worn for a while. So I love it. Well, it is Saturday. It is Saturday. You guys know why I am here. Let's get into it. Let's get into things and let's start off. Let's start off with Monday Night Raw. And if you're wondering why I'm looking down every now and then, it is because I am currently looking at my notes. I need these notes because without these notes, I might forget everything that happened during the week. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to be rambling on for hours and hours just because I thought I might know everything that happened this week by just simply remembering in my head, which is not a good thing because doesn't because my mind is definitely not what it used to be. My mind is definitely not. But hey, let's get into it. Let's start out with Monday Night Raw. Monday Night Raw, it started with a video package. We were shown the return of Roman Reigns last week after the main event, which was a gauntlet match. Last week, the main event was a gauntlet match with the winner facing Gunther for the World Championship at SummerSlam. And so, obviously, CM Punk won the match. Braun Breaker was the MVP in the match. He started out in the number one position, but ended up going until the final two, which was him and CM Punk. CM Punk won. Obviously, Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed attacked post-match. Then Jimmy Uso came in, make the save. He got attacked. Then Roman Reigns came in, and it was great. He's back full time for the next few weeks until SummerSlam. Glad to see him back. But hey, it is what it is. The opening segment was CM Punk addressing, obviously, his challenger for SummerSlam, the guy he will challenge for the World Heavyweight Championship at SummerSlam, that being Gunther. This was typical CM Punk promo. Nothing too. Not too much, but not too little, just enough. And this match should definitely be good. And this match will obviously main event night 2. Because if I'm not mistaken, the Women's World Championship match is on night 2, not night 1. We have actually gotten a full rundown of the match card for each week. Oh, hey Cameron. Thanks for coming. If you want to hit that like button, if you are just now coming in and you want to hit that like button and you haven't, feel free to do so. It is not required. It is not required at all, but I do appreciate it. I do appreciate the likes. however I can get them, because it is what it is. But 2 likes, 3 likes so far. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I like the likes. And obviously I am still looking at my notes, because there's no way that I'm able to just remember everything off the top of my head anymore. It's just not happening anymore. For some reason I can't do it. And so I'm like, someone is apparently decided to. Oh, great. Well, Chelsea Green is a beautiful person. Mox. So get the hell on out of here, please. Well, I'm not pathetic like Chelsea Green. I'm sorry. But hey, it is what it is. But yeah. Okay, after this, we went backstage. We were backstage with Stephanie Becker, who was being interviewed, I'm pretty sure by Kathy Kelly. She then gets interrupted by Women's World Champion Naomi, who decided to introduce herself to the Chilean superstar. Stephanie's like, Naomi, I know exactly who you are. And obviously, she's very much looking forward to facing Naomi at Clash in Paris if she is able to get past Liv and Io Sky and Rhea Ripley at SummerSlam. Naomi is like, oh, I'm gonna survive. Rhea and Io. And she even made mention of the first match that Io and Stephanie Becker had. I think it was the Raw after WrestleMania. She said that Io walked you like a dog in that match before the interference. And then she had probably one of the funniest lines of the night. She said, well, see you in Paris. Oui. And then did her evil laugh. And I was like, okay, this is too funny. Naomi as a heel is killing it. There's just no way around it. Naomi, she's killing this heel run. Whether you want to boo her, whether you still want to cheer for her, it's irrelevant. She's killing this heel run regardless of what you think. Another person on this show that made me laugh on more than one occasion, might I add you, was AJ Styles. Okay, so there was a running gag throughout this show where AJ Styles, everywhere Dominic Mysterio was, AJ Styles was right there in some sort of getup, like whether it was Dominic Mysterio coming into the arena and seeing AJ Styles dressed as a valet, or seeing AJ Styles dressed up as a janitor mopping the floors, or AJ Styles dressed up as a medical personnel, dressed up as a WWE medical person, checking on Dominic Mysterio during the Liv Morgan, during the Roxanne and Raquel versus Bayley and Bailey and Lyra match. Like, yeah, that's crazy. Crazy. And he made me laugh. And it made me laugh. Obviously, some might say it was overdone a little bit, that maybe he didn't need to be in so many segments throughout the show doing this. But I thought it was perfect. I thought it was just the right amount, and it got me hyped for the inevitable match at SummerSlam, which we then were able to get, which we were then able to confirm the match because Dominic Mysterio basically confirmed it himself in the final segment they had together. Oh, he is when he wants to be, because I've never actually seen him funny at all in WWE, but this was one of the few moments where he actually was funny. Maybe it's just that he's never been funny in WWE on WWE programming because he wants to stay serious. But it is what it is. And it was a funny segment. And it was funny between what they were doing. But after this, we got Dragon Lee backstage. Lee backstage with El Grande Americano. Oh, hey. Looking at my notes. And then, oh, hey. Shut up, Joe. Or should I just say Mox? Because we all know that's you. We all know that's you. Yeah. We got, they would get interactive again later on in the night in the triple threat tag team match. But after this segment, we got let's see, anybody? Just some guy named Moxley. Just some guy named Moxley who's trying to be cute, but is not being cute. We then get Trick Williams. He is being interviewed by NXT commentator Vic Joseph, and basically all this was Trick Williams plugging his segment for NXT the next night against when he would confront The Undertaker. As soon as this segment was made official last week, I was like, oh crap. I'm having a great day, Cameron. I was like, oh crap. Trick Williams is about to go for a ride. On the Chokeslam Express. And that's exactly what happened. I'll get to that when I get to NXT. But he had some very interesting comments to say about The Undertaker. And regardless of what you think about Trick Williams, whether you think he's good or not, whether you think he's actually good or not, he's actually very good when it comes to talking, when it comes to a talker in WWE. And he can cut promos very well. And he held his own against The Undertaker. So, good for him. Obviously, we got Becky Lynch and the Lyra Valkyria segment. They are going to go one-on-one at SummerSlam for the third time one-on-one and the fourth time, respectively, if you want to count the Evolution Triple Threat for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Becky Lynch decided she wanted to put a stipulation on this match. If Lyra doesn't win, she can no longer challenge for this title. Oh, Danny, I know, right? Rest in peace, Hulk Hogan. I've only seen 2 Hulk Hogan movies in my lifetime. Mr. Nanny, which my mom absolutely just loves. She thinks it's hilarious. The only other movie I've ever seen that had Hulk Hogan in it was Muppets from Space, when he cameoed as a henchman for Jeffrey Tambor's, I guess, secret agent. Secret agent. As a henchman for Jeffrey Tambor. Oh, it was brief, but it was hilarious what he was saying. Because he was talking like Hollywood Hulk Hogan at that time. Like, I will continue to make your back crack. Yeah, he wasn't immortal. Some would have liked to believe it because they thought he would be probably the only one to actually cheat death. Oh, he was a legend. I know. Look. Controversy aside, the racist marks aside, if you put all that aside, Hulk Hogan had a great career, was a great influence on pro wrestling, and a lot of people wouldn't even be here today if it wasn't for Hulk Hogan. And I know a lot of people want to be like, oh, he was a racist, and that's all I'm ever going to remember him for. But that's kind of a stupid way of looking at it. If that's all you're gonna remember of Hulk Hogan is the racist remarks that he made that came out in 2015, then you are not exactly the best kind of person. Just so I'm being clear, and I'm not gonna get I'm gonna control myself and not be like some of those people and just rant and rave for 10 minutes about how all these shitty people on X and on social media are bashing Hulk Hogan just for being Hogan. I mean, even Chelsea Green has now been receiving death threats simply because she decided to post something to X dedicating Hulk Hogan's career, celebrating Hulk Hogan's career. And even she in the post made it pretty clear that minus the controversies. Yeah. Oh, wow. You actually met Hogan. That's pretty cool. Well, hey, it is what it is. We got also Lyra Valkyria decided to implement a stipulation of her own for this match. So now it is a street fight for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. So that being said, I'm like, okay, I like this. I like this stipulation. Oh, Andrew Munson, will you please get out of here? Danny, could you please show Andrew Munson the door out? That's what I trust you for. And I am doing just fine, Danny. I mean, Austin. I was just talking about Danny, so I was like, oh. Well, thanks, Austin. Next time he tries to come in with another potential fake Andrew Munson account, just get rid of him. But yeah. We also got Sheamus versus Rusev Futia, Rusev Machka. Yeah. This match went about 16 minutes. Definitely was a good match, if not just as good as their first match. Obviously, this match didn't end in any controversy. Sheamus got his win back. Obviously, they are looking at a potential third match for this. I don't know. Well, thanks, Cameron. I really appreciate it. Yeah, I appreciate it. I know I only mod certain people that I trust. And obviously Danny's one of those. It's one of my manager mods, and I definitely trust him to get the Wow. I didn't know we went by another name besides Hulk Hogan. I mean, I know his real name. I know his real name and I know Hulk Hogan, but I didn't know he went by something else before he was going by Hulk Hogan. But wow. I guess I learned something. Yeah, I guess you learn something new every day about certain people. But hey, this was a good match. There's talk that this could be another match, could be a third match, potentially at Clash in Paris. Maybe. Who knows? But this match, if this goes to a third match, it should be good. Maybe a stipulation on this match. I don't know why, but WWE really seems to want to go in on trilogies nowadays. I mean, Sami Zayn and Karen Cross are now even getting a third match at SummerSlam. Oh, okay. Kind of like when he wore a mask as Mr. America. I don't know if it was that kind of mask, but hey. Would be interesting to see that. We got LWO versus Creed Brothers versus New Day. This is a triple threat match to determine number one contenders for the World Tag Team Championships. This match, at one point, El Grande Americano tried to get involved in the match on behalf of the Creed Brothers, but actually, interestingly enough, they were like, dude, let us win this match on our own, okay? Get out of here. This isn't your match. This is our match. This ended the Dragon Lee getting involved. Obviously, they had a back and forth conversation earlier backstage that was heated. And so this was them sort of. And Danny, that don't pay this Eric Freeman any mind. That's Mox. Mox is in rare form apparently today. He's now come in with like 4 different accounts. That's usually he comes in with like at least oh my god, 8 likes. 8 likes. 8 likes. I appreciate it. If we can get it to 10, oh my god. Danny, I know you're here obviously. You probably have if we could get it to 10 likes, that would be amazing. And it's not even 30 minutes into the live stream and it's already at 8 likes. So appreciate you guys a million times over. Obviously, the LWO win this match. They haven't been on TV in a long time. I think mainly because one of the 2 members of the LWO that were involved in this match, they were injured for a short period. So obviously, I think that's the reason why. So it is what it is. But congrats to the LWO. They are back. They are back and they are ready to take on the Judgment Day for the tag team titles. We haven't seen an LWO versus Judgment Day feud in a while. So that's going to be interesting. Yeah, sometimes it is funny nowadays, but it is what it is. Obviously, we got Io Sky. Yeah, I know. In the Rocky 3. And even Sylvester Stallone, who actually inducted Hulk Hogan into the Hall of Fame in 2005, he had a touching tribute to Hulk Hogan. Mox, will you please leave me alone? Nobody wants you here. Nobody needs you here. I'm surprised Matt hasn't banned you from YouTube from his live stream forever. Yeah, I know, but I don't need Mox coming in here and causing drama. That was not Eric Freeman. That was Mox. Also, I've hidden these accounts multiple gazillion times, and they just seem to come back every single time I go live. So, like, I get it, Mox. You don't like me, but just get the hell out of my live stream. I don't need you and your toxic behavior and your obsessive behavior on my live streams. Also, after this, we got a backstage segment with the New Day. Obviously, this was one of the segments in which AJ Styles was interacting with Dominic Mysterio dressed as a janitor. Then the New Day come in, and then it is like, whoa, I'm cleaning this floor. And then he walks away. New Day start going like, okay, this place is going off the rails. Like, AJ Styles is a janitor? Us losing a triple threat match, number one contenders match on Raw? This is going crazy. Then Grayson Waller comes into focus and is like, hey guys, just so you know, Austin Theory recently got himself injured. So A-Town Down Under is A-Town done. And he is now glad that he's done carrying dead weight. So immediately I started thinking to myself, okay, WWE, let me get this straight. You devote a whole year, almost a whole year, to a potential tease of a breakup between Grayson Waller and Austin Theory. They spent like an entire year almost. This is about that time where they lost the tag team titles to DIY in the first place, and then immediately they started showing cracks in the Grace A-Town Down Under foundation. And so literally they've spent an entire year getting us invested in a potential face turn by Austin Theory breakup of A-Town Down Under, and now it looks like they've just gone ahead and done it, and it's not even shown on TV. We don't even see it on TV. All we get is a confirmation by Grayson Waller himself that it's over. I mean, you could have easily just devoted a segment of either Monday Night Raw to the breakup. But no, WWE probably eventually figured, you know what, we've been devoting a whole year to this. People probably aren't going to care anymore anyways. So let's just do it. Let's just end it quietly and hope that fans don't care. Don't care anyways, because we didn't think they were going to care to begin with. Yeah, try insulting our intelligence, please. No, I am not talking like a nerd. Again, Mox, I told you, you're not welcome here. Then, now, obviously, after this segment, we got Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez versus Bayley and Lyra Valkyria. This was for the women's tag team titles. This was a good match. And I actually liked this match for a specific reason, because it furthered 3 different storylines. It furthered the continuation of the Lyra and Bayley dynamic. Like, are they friends? Are they enemies? Are they bitter enemies? Like, what's going on there? It furthered the Lyra and Becky feud, because at one point Becky Lynch got involved in the match. And throwing Lyra into the steel ring steps while the referee's back was turned, focusing on the Judgment Day. And it furthered AJ versus Dom, because at one point in the match, Raquel accidentally hit a big boot on Dominic. And when the medical team went to check on him. One of them was AJ Styles dressed as a medical guy, as a WWE medical guy, and so that sort of furthered that feud between them. Eventually, it led to Dominic obviously being cleared, and now we're getting that match at SummerSlam. Roxanne and Perez and Raquel obviously retained the titles, but this was a good match. It's just that we knew they were going to win anyways. We also got Karrion Kross versus Sami Zayn. This match was okay. It wasn't as good as their Night of Champions match, but it is what it is. It was okay. Karrion Kross won this match, and congrats to Karrion Kross, and they're getting a third match at SummerSlam. Lord knows I would hate to be Karrion Kross at this point because I don't know if they're going to have Sami Zayn win this feud overall at SummerSlam, because I feel like every single time Karrion Kross has had a big feud with somebody, it's like he always gets at least some semblance of momentum during the feud, but by the end of the feud, he's the one that's on the losing end of it, when he should be on the winning end of a lot of these feuds. But who knows? We got Io Sky versus Stephanie Vaquer. This was a great match. Lasted about 15 minutes. Obviously, Naomi got involved when it comes to Io Sky. Chelsea Green, who had a little tiff with Stephanie Vaquer last week. She came in to attack Stephanie Vaquer. This match wasn't exact. This was a good match. I'll just say it that much. And then move on to the main event, which was Roman Reigns. Obviously, he came out to address Seth Rollins' new faction, address Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman came out with Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. Obviously, stuff was said. Roman Reigns called Paul Heyman a dumbass on a number of occasions, at least a couple of times. Then, obviously, came the beatdown with Jey Uso making the save. Now, obviously, as of the end of that show, we didn't know if this was going to be a singles match between Roman Reigns and Braun Breaker or a tag team match. But it's now been made official as a tag team match for SummerSlam. This was a good episode of Monday Night Raw. If I had to rate it, I'd give it a 7.5 out of 10. It was very good. 8 likes, still 8 likes, which I do like. So, no pun intended. But hey, keep the likes coming, guys. I really do appreciate it. Then we get to Tuesday and NXT. We got NXT. Shut up. You mean 10 likes. Mox. Oh my goodness. 9 likes. Thank you to whoever did that. Thank you to whoever just did that. I appreciate that. Obviously, this show took place in the same city that Raw took place in, Houston, Texas. The opening as the show was going on the air, obviously Vic Joseph and Corey Graves were at commentary, but Booker T was not there. Interestingly enough, we had Booker T open the show, coming in through the backstage area, through Gorilla, and coming through the audience down the ramp, just hyping up the show. He was basically there hyping up the show, hyping up what was going to be happening tonight on that night's show. Obviously, the triple threat main event, Josh Briggs versus Owafemi versus Yoshiki Inamura for the NXT title. Blake Monroe's singles debut in WWE, the 8-person tag match between Zarya Zarruka and Hank and Tank versus The Culling. Ricky Saints versus Jasper Troy, among other things. Obviously, Jacy Jayne opened the show. She basically was there to talk about her win at Slammiversary. And then after a minute or two of talking, Lash Legend came out and interrupted proceedings and was like, congrats, JC, you won at Slammiversary, but I was the talking point coming out of Evolution. I threw Nia Jax over the top rope, dusted her ass, and I eliminated Nikki Bella, which I thought was really interesting that they allowed her, of all people, to be the one to eliminate Nikki Bella. Being that she's a Hall of Famer, you don't just let anyone. I mean, even though people might not think of that very much, might not think of that, stuff like that can be really interesting to think about. Like when people are get out of here, Mox. Get out of here, Mox. You're not welcome here. Now go. But hey, congrats to Lash Legend on making it to the final two between her and Stephanie McCurry, who obviously won the match. Then Jada Parker came out, interrupted, and also talked about wanting a shot at the NXT Women's Championship. So, okay. No hands were thrown, if I'm not mistaken, but it is what it is. Now, one of the talking points coming into this SmackDown NXT was that Jordynne Grace, who obviously Blake Monroe invited to watch her debut singles match in NXT, she obviously put her hands on two NXT officials last week. So Ava decided for the best interest, in Jordynne Grace's best interest, she banned Jordan from the arena tonight. That didn't stop her, though, obviously. Obviously, that didn't stop her, but it is what it is. Our first match of the night was Ricky Saints versus Javon Evans. Went about 12 minutes, and this match was really good. And then up until the ending of the match, which was really interesting, because at one point, him and Ricky Saints and Jasper Troy were just fighting on the entrance ramp. And apparently a piece of the entrance ramp broke off or just fell off or whatever. And Ricky Saints just fell with the piece of the entrance ramp. Jasper Troy then, I think if I'm not thinking, had like a senton or something, some big impact move on Ricky Saints, then was able to get back into the ring before the count of 10, which meant that Ricky Saints got lost via countout, which means Jasper Troy won via countout. Great. Good for him. That was definitely a hard-hitting match. Now, the reason why we got this match was because of the Great American Bash. Ethan Page was facing, Ricky Saints was facing Ethan Page in a Falls Count Anywhere match for the NXT North American title. And at one point, Ricky Saints accidentally bumped into Jasper Troy backstage. Listening to Jasper Troy just saying, hell with it, I'm going to just pick up Ricky Saints and slam him onto a crate, and it is what it is. So, hey, congrats to Jasper Troy. We then get, after the opening, we got Fatal Influence in the backstage segments. They're not exactly, Jacy Jayne is just not exactly sure how to tackle the Lash Legend Jada Parker situation. Then Michelle McCool, who was on the WWE OFG show as a coach, she came out apparently to offer Fatal Influence some advice. So basically, Jacy Jayne decides who's going to get Jada and who's going to get Lash. Well, Fallon decided that she was going to get her hands on Lash, and that Jasmine Nix will handle Jada Parker. She said that obviously she'd have a better chance of beating Lash Legend than Jasmine would. I'm guessing they're eventually planning either a face turn for JC or a face turn for Fallon and Jasmine, as they eventually just get tired of JC's constant belittlement. I'm guessing you could say it that way. But we then get an 8-person tag team match. Tag team match, obviously, Soul Ruka and Zarya and Hank and Tank, who are the NXT Tag Team Champions, versus the culling of Nico Vance, Sean Spears, Izzy Dane, and Tatum Paxley. Obviously, the ending of this match was very weird, because at the end of the match, Dark State came out of like nowhere. It's like the lights went out. Dark State showed up for a few seconds. They didn't do anything. They just stood in the crowd like they always do. Now that I know is not true. That is not true. Sorry, Dro. I don't mean to. Well, actually, you know what? Maybe I can unhide you, but I am going to put you in timeout for 24 hours. Thank you. But yeah, Cullen got the win. I'm guessing we might see a rematch for the tag team titles eventually. Who knows? I don't know. But hey, Zarya was the one who got pinned. We get Trick Willie, or as Trick Williams likes to be called, Trick-N-A, likes to call himself Trick-N-A. He is there confronting The Undertaker. This was a segment that I was very excited for because I was like, oh, this is going to be good. Is Trick Williams going to go for the ride on the Chokeslam Express? Long story short, yes. He took a chokeslam for his troubles. They both went back, and obviously Trick Williams started off. He was talking for a few minutes, then basically told The Undertaker, get your ass out here. He came out. They then went back and forth. And long story short, Undertaker hits a chokeslam on Trick Williams, and that's how the segment ends. That was fun. Seeing Trick Williams get the chokeslam, it was good. We got Blake Monroe versus Ren Sinclair. This is Blake's singles debut. This match lasted barely 3 minutes. It was a squash. Then Jordynne Grace out of nowhere comes out, just starts waylaying at the security who tried to hold her back. But then Blake Monroe was able to hit a DDT on Jordynne Grace through a chair. So I guess it all handled itself pretty well. We also got Ethan Page in a segment. He was celebrating his win at the Great American Bash against Ricky Saints. He started talking about his beloved country that he's from, Canada. Talked about how the people from Canada are much nicer than the people in the United States, and this and that, whatever. And it is what it is. It is what it is. Someone just deciding to just talk smack about our country and then talk so positively about his country. It's been done before in wrestling, and I don't think it'll ever stop anytime soon. Oh, wait, 11 likes. Holy shoot. Okay, thank you guys. I did not expect that to happen. Didn't expect that to happen, but hey, congrats. Congrats to me. Then, so he decided to unveil a new design for the NXT North American Championship, and it's in the colors of the Canadian flag, red and white. Oh Lord, it's MJF all over again. Because last year when MJF won the international title from Will Ospreay, the first thing he did was change that title's design. He came out with a new title that had the colors red, white, and blue, and this was basically the exact same thing that Ethan Page was doing. Is he basically? But then again, Ethan Page was a former AEW superstar and may or may not be still be friends with MJF. So he might have just taken inspiration from MJF. But yeah, it reminded me of that way too much. Then out comes Santino Marella, even though he is Italian, which I kind of knew he was. He also, I guess, has a home in Canada and just thinks of Canada as like a second home. And so he is there to inform Ethan Page that Ethan's next challenger for that North American title is him. So we're getting Ethan Page versus Santino Marella next week on NXT. Great. It'll be Santino's first official WWE match in 11 years. In 11 years. I'm guessing it's 11 years. I don't know when Santino officially departed from WWE. But hey, I mean, Santino still looks really good for his age. For his age, he still looks very good and is in very good shape. So could be good. Could be just a fun match, just for fans of Santino Marella. But who knows? It is what it is. We got the main event: Oba Femi versus Josh Briggs versus Yoshiki Inamura for the NXT Championship. This match was very good. Only lasted about 10 minutes or so, but it was a very good match. Oba Femi was not losing the title, but hey. I don't know who you are. But I'll just leave you there for now in case you. And if you say something that I think is gonna tick me off, then I'm just gonna put you in timeout for a few minutes. But this episode of NXT was very good. If I had to rate it, I'd give it a 7 out of 10. Not perfect, although no wrestling show can be perfect. Although Evolution was damn near perfect. Minus the NXT Women's Championship match, of course. But hey, it is what it is. This NXT show was pretty good. I'll give it a 7 out of 10. AEW Dynamite. AEW Dynamite they were in Chicago for the second week in a row. Apparently this was the start of Shark Week. I'm guessing obviously that's something they do on the Discovery Channel. It's a week dedicated to nothing but just shark-related content. I think it's the Discovery Channel that does it. Hi, I don't actually know who you are, but thank you for coming. If there's anybody here watching who has not hit that like button, if you want to, it is not required, but I do appreciate it. So if there is anybody here who hasn't hit that like button yet, but would like to, obviously it's not required, but I do appreciate the likes anyways. Okay, AW Dynamite started out with Hangman versus Wheeler Yuta. Hangman versus Wheeler Yuta. Hangman and Page versus Wheeler Yuta. Let's just say this match was a definite squash. He won this match in 2 minutes. This man, Hangman, won this match in 2 minutes. So that's all you need to know. Post-match saw Hangman deliver a beatdown on Wheeler Yuta. At one point, even had him in a chain. I'd say let's not, Mox, because you're not the boss of anybody in this group, in this live chat, so you can go to hell. But hey, obviously Hangman had a chain, wrapped it around the throat of Wheeler Yuta and was just screaming at Wheeler, "They're not coming to save you. They're not coming to save you." Obviously talking about Wheeler Yuta's faction, Death Riders. Obviously they didn't come out. Obviously they didn't come out to save him. So, it is what it is. But hey, we got, and after this, we got Hangman, Adam Page backstage. MJF is back there. They basically just talk about the AEW World Championship and how MJF has this contract that he won in the Casino Gauntlet match that states he can challenge for the Okay, I don't know what to think about that. I don't know what to think about that. Well, it is what it is. I'm just gonna continue on with the live stream, everybody. We got FTR versus Jet Speed. This is Speedball Mike Bailey and Kevin Knight. This is a tag team tournament match. The winners of this tournament earn a shot at the AEW tag team titles at Forbidden Door. I'm not going to tell you that. I'm not going to tell you where I live because I don't give out my address to strangers. Especially not to people I don't know. So, yeah. That's not going to happen. Starting to creep me out just a little bit. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put you in timer. Okay, but you're just starting to creep me out just a little bit, so I'm just going to put you in timeout for 30 minutes. Hopefully by that time I will be officially done with the live stream and I won't have to worry about this guy. We got, obviously, post-match, I think it was FTR that won the match. Post-match saw Adam Copeland come out. I refuse to call him Cope because that's just a stupid name. He comes out looking like he wants to get his hands on FTR. Stokely Hathaway decides that he has to remind Copeland that, did you not hear what I said last week? You can't be near FTR. You can't put your hands on FTR or you'll be fired. And yeah. And then Adam Copeland says, "Oh yeah, I forgot. Luckily for me, and then luckily for you guys, I found a loophole to all this. So I made a business arrangement with a couple of guys whose business is hurting people. Out comes the Hurt Syndicate to basically take out FTR on Adam Copeland's behalf. So if Adam Copeland can't put his hands on FTR, then he'll let the Hurt Syndicate do it for him. This was essential, as later on in the show we would have a backstage segment with MJF and the Hurt Syndicate that got really heated pretty quickly. After this, though, we got a promo from the Patriarchy, who turned on Christian Cage at All In, Texas. Let's not, Mox, let's not give me a dislike, please. Pretty please. And no, I'm not a creep. You can say all you want, say it all you want, but it's not true. But it will never be true, because you will never be able to prove it. After this, we got this segment between MJF and the Hurt Syndicate. MJF's like, what happened? What did I see? Why were you helping out Adam Cole take out FTR? MVP was like, Moxley had a business arrangement for us, and so we helped him. That's all it was just a business arrangement. MJF was like, well, I'm sorry, but you guys really shouldn't be worrying about anybody else. What you should be doing is helping me win back the AEW World Championship. This set Bobby Lashley off, because I'm thinking that MJF is starting to get a little too comfortable in the Hurt Syndicate. He's thinking that this is his group now, his faction, and everybody in this faction just follows his lead. That's not that's not the case here. And Bobby made it pretty clear. Like, we don't answer to you. We don't do what you say, what you tell us to do. We do what we do. And he's now officially starting to regret letting MJF into the faction. Obviously, this will either lead to a face turn by the Hurt Syndicate or whatever, but this is obviously leading to MJF getting the boot from the Hurt Syndicate. It's obvious. We got another Jon Moxley promo after losing the AEW World Championship to Hangman Adam Page. This was basically a typical Jon Moxley promo. I liked it. It was simple, wasn't too complicated, and it hit all the right notes. I have not seen Happy Gilmore, the first one or the second one so far, so I wouldn't know, actually. But maybe one day I'll see both of them, and maybe I'll be able to judge for myself. But it is what it is. After this, we got another in-ring segment with Will Ospreay. Will Ospreay is... Actually, no, after this, we got Toni Storm versus Billy Starks. This was a decent match, lasted about 9 minutes. Toni Storm looked great, as always. Billy Starks, she's young, but she looked good. Obviously, Toni Storm won the match. Post-match saw Billy Starks and Athena, who is Billy Starks' friend, and I'm guessing Minion Overlord, which is what she's called herself, because Athena calls herself the Minion Overlord, and Billy Starks is one of her minions. So then out for the save comes Alex Windsor, who is apparently a new AEW superstar. Now, watching this video, the video of the match between Billy Starks and Toni Storm, and then the post-match beatdown, Alex Windsor save, a lot of people in the comments were saying, okay, Alex Windsor why does Alex Windsor in the thumbnail look so much Lita. And I'm thinking to myself, and now as I've seen the thumbnail a couple dozen times, I'm like, dude, I'm I'm seeing it too. I'm seeing it too. At first, I was like, wait a minute, does that looks like Lita? Why is she in AEW? Oh, I thought you hated Gunther. I thought you hated Chopper Mox. I thought you hated Chopper Mox. I thought you'd be happy to see Gunther lose the world title finally to someone who actually deserves it. Instead of that chop merchant, as I've seen you call him on a number of occasions. We then get the Will Ospreay segment and ring segment. He is out there. He basically confirmed that he is banged up, injured, and he will be taking a few weeks off to heal, but that he will be back and should be back in time for Forbidden Door. I'm hoping it's nothing serious between him. Well, I guess you can't. I guess we can't. I guess we can't get everything we want all at once. Although you'd be very happy if neither man was in this match, and that it was actually and that it was someone that you actually liked, like Roman Reigns or even Hulk Hogan, who's now dead. Rest in peace, by the way. Yeah, but you hate both of those superstars, so it's kind of hard for you to root for one person over the other when you hate both equally as much as you hate me. We got Hechicero versus Swerve Strickland. About 7 minutes. Nothing needs to be said about this match. It was just there. Don't know what's going on with Swerve Strickland, but obviously he's being targeted by the Don Callis family, and that's all I'm going to say. It was just a match. Moving on. We got the main event, Mark Briscoe versus Claudio Castagnoli. This was a good match, lasted about 9 minutes. Obviously, this was not about the match between Mark Briscoe and Claudio, it was about the post-match beatdown. Hangman decides, came out there for the save and decided to give Jon Moxley a rematch for the AEW World Championship, but he made a stipulation for the match that sees that nobody can get involved in this match from the Death Riders. Everybody banned from ringside. So I'm like, okay, does this mean someone new is someone's gonna still influence the outcome of this match, like Darby Allin potentially? That's gonna have to be something that is in the mind of everybody going into next week's Dynamite. But it is what it is. This was not a very good episode of Dynamite. I'll give it a 6 out of 10. There was a few things I liked, but that's about it. Then Friday Night SmackDown. Friday Night SmackDown opened up with a great tribute to Hulk Hogan. Obviously, they talked about his win over the Iron Sheik at Madison Square Garden for the WWF title. Talked about WrestleMania 3 against Andre the Giant. The immovable force meeting the immovable object, as said by Gorilla Monsoon. And then they just talked about Hulk Hogan's career as a whole. Obviously, a lot of wrestlers, in fact, the entire SmackDown roster was on the stage to pay tribute to Hulk Hogan. What I thought was just genius by Bo Dallas, aka Uncle Howdy, that he decided to come out just in full Bo Dallas in full Uncle Howdy gear. He didn't have to, but I thought it was great that he was at least trying to keep kayfabe alive by not revealing who he really is, even though we all know it's Bo Dallas anyways. It's not like we don't know it's him. Oh, he probably will. Yeah, 10 bell salutes. Yeah, look, controversy aside, racism aside, all the things that he did that many people didn't like aside, Hulk Hogan will be missed. Hulk Hogan will be missed. I will definitely miss him. Even though I didn't necessarily like some of the comments that he made, especially within the last year or so. But it is what it is. His contributions to professional wrestling cannot be overlooked. You just can't overlook the amount of contributions he made to pro wrestling. Also, I'm now a huge fan of the NWO. When he turned heel, that was probably the most shocking moment in all of pro wrestling at that time. Because you never would have thought that Hulk Hogan would have ever turned heel. Ever. Even though he did like to create although he did like to flex his creative control at times in WWE, he was never really a heel. Even though some people didn't necessarily like the fact that he would flex his creative control. Most obvious, the most obvious, what I'm the word I'm trying to say, the most obvious example being WrestleMania 9, when Bret Hart defeated Yokozuna for the WWF title, and then Hulk Hogan decided, you know what, I have to be the one. I have to be the one walking out of WrestleMania 9 as WWF champion, not Bret Hart. That was just Hulk Hogan flexing his creative control. And yes, John, he was a human being. He did make mistakes, and everybody makes mistakes. Some people want to focus too much on the mistakes and act like that's the only thing that he should ever be remembered for is his mistakes. But that's not the case. Also, him not wanting to put over Bret Hart at SummerSlam 93, apparently. Apparently, Bret Hart was supposed to face Hulk Hogan at SummerSlam 93 for the WWF title, and Hulk Hogan said, no, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen because I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it, obviously. But hey, that was just Hulk Hogan. You can't exactly fault any wrestler for wanting to use some sort of creative control. But some people will say that Hogan's use of creative control got out of hand a couple of times, and it's one of the reasons why WCW kind of failed. Because Hulk Hogan at times just refused to put anybody over. The NWO as a whole, sometimes I'm guessing just refused to put people over. But it is what it is. The opening segment was Jelly Roll. Last night's SmackDown was Jelly Roll. Logan Paul segment. Logan Paul opened the show. Obviously, he opened the segment. Then Jelly Roll came out obviously he had to say if he had a few words to say to Logan Paul. They went back and forth. Then Randy Orton came out. Then Drew McIntyre came out. Then Randy Orton came out, and then this led to a brawl. Obviously, yeah, he was. And this led to Logan Paul and Jelly Roll getting into it, with Jelly Roll actually hitting a Boss Man Slam. If I'm not mistaken, that's what they called it, a Boss Man Slam. I'm guessing that was referring to the Big Boss Man. I'm guessing that was his move, the Big Boss Man Slam. But hey, and he can perform a pretty decent choke slam. He did a choke slam, performed a choke slam to No, I am not. Then he did perform a good choke slam to Austin Theory at SummerSlam last year when he made an appearance. So, hey, it's pretty cool. This should actually be a good tag team match. I'm not going to lie, this should be a good tag team match. We got Chelsea Green backstage. She was talking about complaining, as she always does, about being left out of Queen of the Ring tournament, how she would have won the tournament, how she would have gone on to SummerSlam and beat Tiffany Stratton for the women's title. In comes Jade Cargill. This obviously leads to a match between the two of them. We get that match. It's about 4 minutes. Jade wins. And the Secret Harvest, they come out. They come into the ring post-match and just beat up on Jade Cargill. Then all of a sudden, Tiffany Stratton comes in to make the save, which was a little bit of a shocker to Wade Barrett, who was like, if I were Tiffany Stratton, I would just let the Secret Harvest beat up on Jade. Like, okay, what do you think? That maybe this is Tiffany Stratton wanting to preserve her match at WrestleMania. She doesn't want Jade Cargill to go into this match injured, or she doesn't want Jade Cargill to get injured before this match even takes place. Which I think which if that's true, then that's an admirable. Shut up, Mox. That's not true. Austin, if you're still here, can you get this asshole out of here? We then get a video package for Andrade and Rey Fenix. Phoenix before their title match. In the main event against the Wyatt Six. This was a good video package. Nothing's too much, not too much, not too little. We also get Zelina Vega backstage. She's backstage. She was talking with Julia about a rematch for the Women's United States Championship. In walks Kiana James, who is now back on television after being injured for over a year. She is now back, and she is now playing the role of Julia's representative. Well, I'm guessing you could just say Julia's lawyer, assistant, whatever you want to call it, liaison, whatever. But she's handling Julia's business deals, and I guess you could say creating matches and stuff. That's exactly what she did. She told Zelina, you know what? You're right, and I already got it approved. Match approved for next week. So on the Go Home show for SummerSlam, it's going to be Julia versus Zelina Vega for the Women's United States Championship. I don't think Zelina Vega wins it back. I think Julia is going to have a pretty decent run with the title. Hopefully it's a decent run, but I'm hoping she's not going to lose it to Zelina. Back to Zelina. We also get a video package for Aleister Black and Damian Priest. Apparently they will now have a match. They also will have a match on the Go Home show of Friday Night SmackDown before SummerSlam. And this match should be good. Should be very good. Because I love both of these guys. We then get another match. We then get another segment involving DIY and the Street Profits. Street Profits were being interviewed about obviously what's next for them following them losing the tag team titles to the Wyatt Six and what they think of the match tonight in the main event between Andrade and Rey Fenix and the Wyatt Six. Then DIY come out to confront the Street Profits, and they're like, you lost the title, so why don't you guys just go to the back of the line and let us get our shot at the tag team titles next. So then that way we can fix what you started. We can fix this whole tag team division and get it back to where it was before you guys came in and stole our titles. So I'm guessing DIY is still not exactly done with wanting the tag team titles and are just going to probably go after the tag titles until they win them again. Then we get Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes is out there. We get a segment involving Cody Rhodes. He's out there to talk about the SummerSlam match with John Cena. Obviously, this is a street fight for the title. Obviously, I hope Cody Rhodes does win, but also I'm hoping that he doesn't turn heel because I don't think that's what they're doing. I'm hoping that they're not going to turn Cody Rhodes heel for this turn heel because I just don't think he needs to. I don't think WWE wants to do it just yet because because they just have so much faith in him right now as a babyface. I just don't know if they would ever what they would see in a heel Cody Rhodes at the moment. But it is what it is. We also got Miz versus Jacob Fatu match. Lasted about 7 minutes. It was good. Miz looked good at times. Obviously, Jacob Fatu won the match. Immediately gets attacked by Solo Sikoa and the MFTs. This led to Jimmy Uso coming in for the save, but that didn't even help. Jacob Fatu at the end of this was left on the mat, lying down on the mat, beaten up by the MFTs. Great, that's how this segment ended. We then get the main event, Wyatt Six versus Andrade and Rey Fenix for the tag team titles. This match was actually very decent, really good. The ending of the match obviously saw Nikki Cross get involved in the match, which then led to the referee hitting the DQ sign. So the match ended via DQ, ending the match. So the match ended in DQ, which I thought was a little flat for what was a very good match. And I don't know, this then led to most of the NXT tag team division coming out there to attack the Wyatt Six, or at least this then led to Nick Aldis coming out to announce that if they want to all get their hands on the Wyatt Six and the WWE tag team titles, then they can do it at SummerSlam in a tables, ladders, and chairs match. 25 years to the day since 25 years since the first ever TLC match for the tag team titles, which I think it was the first ever TLC match. It was obviously the first match was Edge and Christian versus the Dudley Boys versus Matt and Jeff, the Hardy Boys. This match could easily steal the show. Obviously, the men that are involved in this match, the Wyatt Six, who are the champions, Andrade and Rey Fenix, Fraxium, DIY, Motor City Machine Guns, and the Street Profits. Great match. Who wins this match? I have no idea because there are 6 teams. Any one of them could win. Now this match will probably be on night 2 because we already have 6 matches planned. 6 matches on night 1, 5 matches on night 2. We had 5 matches on night 2, and now I'm guessing this will be the 6th match for night 2, and it could obviously steal the entire show. Just saying. Well, that is it for me. If I were to rate Monday Night SmackDown this week, I'd rate it a 7.5 out of 10. Very good Hulk Hogan tributes. Some of them, Alexa Bliss versus Roxanne Perez was good. The opening segment between Jelly Roll and Logan Paul was good. The main event was good, even though the finish was flat. But other than that, it was pretty good. And so that is it for me. I'm going to end this live stream now. Hope you guys enjoyed it, because I know I did. And until next time, I will see you guys later. Peace. Peace out, guys.